And we're live. Man, like we did this last week, didn't we?
No.
Oh, that's why I feel
You were
like
in Atlanta last week.
Oh yeah, that's like it's like a week of my life flash before my eyes, and it's over. So that was a rather difficult week of labor, but the result was pretty sick. So yeah, we're here today early because I have a call with Nussbaum. I need to work on the pronunciation. Nussbaum lifts. So I've got that coming up.
And next week you will be at the G-Technic Summit Thursday and Friday. So
we'll probably do it early.
Yeah, we need to do it another day next week.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be at Mobile Tech right now, but I didn't go. I just got back late last night, and I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna work on my GT3 today, and I'll go down tomorrow. I'll go down there tomorrow, and we're gonna do some. I'll shoot a video, a vlog probably, and then. Dude, at this point, we're going to have to start putting videos up twice a day. I got too much stuff.
All right, so let me go through a couple of quick questions here from the chat. Will you guys be open on President's Day, February 17th? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be here for sure.
We don't do holidays for babies.
Yeah, that is kind of a weak holiday. That's the worst, probably. They should give us the Monday after Super Bowl off instead of President's Day. That would be. Good afternoon from Minneapolis. Hey, Dan. What's going on with Inside the Hex content? Only 3 videos this entire month. One of them Matt wasn't even in, and the other he cooked a steak. Did he give up on it?
We only did 3 this whole month. What happened to all our videos that I
made?
made?
Mike chimed in here in the chat and said there's more on the way. I know the Mike Wash in chat is finished and going up soon.
Yeah, what the heck are they doing? They're supposed to be up. So hurry up, Mike. Get those up.
He's editing some of the 97 hours of video.
People are going to have a freaking mutiny on our hands here. I shot the videos, so we need to get them up. But I'll do a vlog update here next week. Probably do a couple of them. I want to do a sit down, Hex vlog, just so I can sit down and not Hex vlog. What's the other one? Hexcast. So I'll do. I want to do one of those next week, just to be a business update. And like I said, the Hex membership I will never get lazy on. I'm just only going to do stuff when I have something to say. And sometimes that'll be extra, and sometimes it'll be a little light. But I have 3 more videos. We just put those up.
All right, B.W. Williams, Wolf's Nano Glass Sealant. When's it back in stock? I can't see when it rains anymore. It's landing in Miami tomorrow from Hungary, and then it should hopefully be here next week.
Yeah, we needed like a sales bonanza to dig me out of this hole that I put us in of buying too much crap. We got freaking foam cannons everywhere, and I do this where like, we haven't had a new product in a little while, and so I did 37 of them. So we need to dig out of the cash pit that I put us in. So hopefully you guys buy this stuff.
Let's see. Gary wants to know, how would you recommend he store a Krenzla? I have to put it in storage for 7 months. I want to make sure it is in the same shape as when I stored it.
Yeah, we don't need to do anything. Just don't leave DI water in it. That's all. Just run it dry for 5 seconds after it turns off, and that's all you really need to do.
All right. Any updates? Any news on the Mosmatic 3/8 couplers from Adam and those folks who are waiting on them?
Didn't they come Wednesday? I think they were supposed to arrive to Mosmatic, so they should be in transit to us. I would guess this. If they haven't shipped them yet, they'll be shipped here shortly. We already paid for them, didn't we?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So for those of you who are waiting on that to fill your order, it'll be hopefully best case scenario next week. If you didn't order one of those, if you just got like just the gun or the gun one combo, hopefully you already got that. That should have been.
Yeah, and then we have them in stock. So if you order something now, what we'll probably run out of would be the 3/8 and the 3/8 and the M22 version for the Krenzla, and then the 3/8 female for like the Cobra Jet hoses. So we'll probably run out of those before the next shipment. So you'll want to get those. We have a lot of them, but I'm going to be suggesting that every single person who has a Krenzla, even if you don't buy the new gun, swap out your quick disconnect on the get rid of that little combo piece that we put together. So right on the outlet of the hose is where the new M22 coupler will go. So I mean, theoretically every single person who has a Krenzla should buy one of those, because it'll make it'll make the connection there a little shorter, a little tighter, a little cleaner, and then if you do disconnect it often, make it a much nicer connection, and it will still fit with the the MTM plug on the inlet to your gun. If it were me, if you have the original Mosmatic, you're not gonna buy the new one. You're gonna stick with the original. I would take the 3/8 plug off of that we sent with the gun. So I'd detach that. I'd take the twist and seal little brass thing, and then the 3/8 MTM coupler. So I'd take those two things off, just throw them in your drawer as backups, and I'd get the new Mosmatic and the new Mosmatic, and you have such a precise connection, especially for those that have the 1122. And then everybody has a Cobra Jet. I would swap out those as well. So if you put your order in now, then you'll get them probably late next week.
All right, here, Maleficent Z06, checking in from the extreme Pacific Northwest. I'm going to go ahead and assume this is a female. Matt, please make some of the shirts in ladies' V-neck. It is much more flattering for those of us with a chest, shall we say.
Yeah, I have to. We're going to sit down here soon, and probably early spring, and just dig through our clothing stuff. Probably have a sale on the stuff that hasn't sold as well, and clean those out, and then update the line and continue to add to it. But yeah, I'm down for that. We wouldn't sell a lot of them, but I'm sure some people would like that. I'll connect that to, because we have a project with CrossFit. So CrossFit Dialed In, we're going to be doing that as well. So I'll be able to just use whatever we're doing for CrossFit. We'll be able to do for Obsessed Garage.
Yeah, Chelsea Nielsen actually mentioned that in a comment earlier this week. She wants some ladies' T-shirts. So
yeah,
that's the thing. Adam, does your hat fit big heads? The fitted hats, not so much. The snapback hats, yes. As James and some other guys can tell you.
Isn't the flat brim one that one has like an extra large size, isn't it?
Yeah, there are a couple in extra large that are large, extra large. It depends on how extra large your head is, Adam.
Yeah, but I thought that the flat bill has like a small, a medium, and then a mega head, mega cranium size.
There's small, medium, that's one size.
Right.
And then large, extra large is the other size.
But I thought that the flat brim had a different...
Oh, I don't know. I have to check.
Maybe I'm wrong on that.
We'll check on that, Adam, but if you got a big head, just buy a snapback.
Yeah.
That's my advice from a guy with a big head.
And they're real nice. I like those better. I don't even wear any of the fitted ones anymore. I like the snapback ones. They're so much more comfortable.
All right, let's see. We have a question here from Ethan on Instagram. Do you use hot or cold water in your wash buckets, and why?
Cold. But I'm in Florida. I'd probably be using warm water if I was in a colder climate during the winter. Warm water is more efficient. The main reason is I don't have a water heater, so I don't have hot water out of my wash bay. So that's the main reason. I'd have to put a water heater in out there. But if you have it, I would definitely use it.
All right, let's see. Needs Decaf on Instagram says, how much of a new audience do you think you'll pick up during the VinWiki Garage project?
Not a lot. I think that doing that project is not, for me, it's not so much about getting a bunch of new people and subscribers. It's about taking the next step in being thought of as that guy, as the standard. The standard for a garage. That if you are going to do something in your garage, that Obsessed Garage is the brand. And so for me, that was much more of a branding exercise. I'm sure I'll gain subscribers over time. We've already gained some. We're about to hit 200,000. But for me, it's more about the creating brand recognition. I've already gotten 2 calls from 2 people that want me to do their garage, like some famous type people, and so I think that me going out and doing garage after garage after garage is certainly not the plan. The plan is that if I'm doing a garage, the garage would then sell things. Like, I guarantee you the lightings, people seeing that transformation and the difference in lights, people will say, okay, I see it now in another garage that isn't Matt's garage. I can see how, why he's choosing that, and so they'll buy it from me. So that garage also will be, lots and lots of car guys go there to tell stories, and so it'll be a tour by again, it'll be a tour that'll be giving tours to people, countless people every week. I guess you could count them, but 2, 3, 4, 5, people a week that have some influence, and a lot of them have means, and so some of them will be buying stuff, and it's the next evolutionary step in me becoming the standard, Obsessed Garage becoming the place for solutions. That detailing is a main component. Compressed air, I'm going to become, just like with pressure washing, I'm going to become the standard there. And so that's what I'm looking to create, is to create solutions for guys like Ed, who are going to purchase stuff with, click a button and it sends it to their house. The key is going to be figuring out how to make it as simple as possible so people can just buy it, and then teach them how to hire a contractor to install it, because we're not going to be doing every install. If I want this to be massive, it can't be limited on just doing the doing, right? So just like I talk to detailers all the time, what's your plan? Like, how are you going to get out of detailing? So this would be, it'd be me taking 5 steps back if I was just going to go out and do garages every day, and even if we were going to build a team, you're so limited in output. And we probably will build a team for some of the really elaborate, really expensive garages for those that are willing to pay for that. And that'll be the videos that I'll shoot. That's what will sell more product for people. But ultimately, I need to teach people how to do it themselves. Either they're going to DIY it, or they're going to hire local professionals to do it, because I'm providing enough information, and we'll be providing more and more information. I want to have instructions for everything where people could then then get it done, get it done themselves. Because ultimately, the hardest part of this is figuring out what works together, and then creating a canvas for people to kind of build off of. I mean, just look at, I don't think I've ever seen a custom install pressure washer package like where people are mounting to the wall. Not everybody is buying stuff from me, but the vast majority are buying. But it's changed how people, you give people an idea and they run with it, and they come up with all kinds of different ideas beyond that. But what I think a lot of people need is just a little push. And so it's not that I'm this massive creative person. I just know how to shop really well. So I'm pretty good at shopping for stuff, and then I'm pretty good at buying a bunch of stuff that I don't need to figure out what I do, and then I can save a lot of people a lot of money by doing that. And so that's why I'm doing Ed's Garage, is for the brand. It's to continue to build Obsessed Garage as a brand.
Yeah, I got a couple VinWiki Garage related questions here while we're talking about it, from Brad on Facebook. On the VinWiki build, why did you all go MSS instead of MSS Plus?
Because I paid for the cabinets, and I don't want to pay 2.5 times for the cabinets, so that's simply why. And MSS is much more practical for people. So that cabinet array was $13,000 with tools, and so MSS Plus would be somewhere around 25 or so, for the same thing, 23, 25, something like that. So it would be a lot more expensive. Plus, we don't have them yet. They're still kind of trickling in, and so a lot of the sizes that we needed, they don't have yet, and won't for a little while. But MSS Plus will be the ultimate solution.
All right, Jonathan on Facebook says, any new developments on the OG Hex banners or signage being for sale? I saw the Hex pieces used in the VinWiki Garage. They would be an awesome addition to many of our workspaces. Maybe make it a Hex Plus only item. Will be good word of mouth marketing directly from your best customers.
Yeah, I'm going to Jim, who was the guy that we met, who Ed just kind of called some local places and called a friend of a friend, and then the guy Jim who came out, which was I forget the name of his company, Signs to. Forget what it is, but he's going to be making us small, medium, large of that. It's vinyl, but it's like aluminum laminated vinyl, and so we'll be doing those here. I'm going to do like a smaller, probably like an 8-inch or 10-inch size, and then we'll do the sizes, whatever that was, 12 or 14-inch. We did it at VinWiki Garage, and then maybe make some big ones. Of course, the trick with big ones is packaging and shipping. But I'm sure we can figure it out.
It looked like Super Signs, Georgia, Jim Ellingham.
Yeah. So Jim's been badgering me. He's like, I'm ready. He's ready. I just need to get with him and tell him what I want.
That did look really good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. All right, one more question here. You mentioned a while back that you may be doing a garage for someone you couldn't mention, someone with a large, famous sort of audience.
Mm-hmm.
Curious if that came to fruition, or if you'll be able to share that with us anytime soon.
No, not yet. But yeah, we're still. I'm pretty sure we're still going to do it. He's now it's up to I think 12,000 square feet, and so I think it was 8,000 or 9,000. Now it's 12. He's working on hiring a contractor, and so that would probably be next year. But I did get 2 calls from 2 other people that I hate the whole. I'd rather just freaking tell you. I just can't. I'm not trying to be like this, big reveal. That's why we did I'm like, the Ed's garage. He's like, he wants to put the video up, and I'm like, let's just do it. While we got the juice, let's, on your channel, let's show him. And then the people that want to see the whole process can come see the whole process instead of let's wait for the big reveal. I don't. Like people are like, don't spoil the movie. Who cares? It's not that important. Like you could tell me, like, what was it, The Sixth Sense? What was that Bruce Willis movie? Yeah. You could have told me the end of it. I wouldn't care. I'd still watch it and enjoy it. Who cares? In fact, I'd enjoy it more because it wouldn't be so stressed out. So just show me. If you got it, show it to me. So yeah.
That's the next T-shirt right there. If you've got it, show it to me.
No, the next T-shirt is YouTube. High tchotchke, low execute. High tchotchke factor, low executes. Yeah, low execution.
All right, let's see. Before we get to Yoshi's Super Chat question here, any updates on marathon training, gains, losses? Have you been consistent? What's the deal there?
Yeah, well, I screwed up on the whole week at Vinwiki. It was 25 degrees, and we were exhausted. So, yeah, I'm on track. I wasn't planning on starting until February 1st, but we started early. And so my coach has got me running. I have to run 2 miles today. I ran 2 yesterday. So it's tricky, man. It's hard to, I just have to make a commitment to it. But I'm in Houston. And so I ran at 11 p.m. last night after I got off the plane, after I got home. So I got it knocked out. So I got 2 miles tomorrow, then a day off on Saturday, and then Sunday I've got to run 5 miles. She has me running 8:45 to 9-minute mile pace, which is really slow. But I'm hurting. I don't know how I could run much faster, which is shocking. So yeah, I'm on track. I'm where I should be.
Our buddy Brian Deal is chiming in here to remind you about your 195 by 40. He didn't.
Yeah, that's
wasn't quite there.
Not happening.
We got close though. Let's see. Next up. Oh, this is a good question, Ethan. I like this question. Oh, sorry. I got to go back to Yoshi first though. What can we expect to see over the next few months? I guess we're talking in terms of videos, cars.
Yeah, so you'll see the conclusion of the Corvette, and then the sale of the Corvette, assuming hopefully somebody buys it. So I'll conclude that. The conclusion of the M5 and the sale of the M5. I don't intend to buy anything else unless some magical GT4 allocation shows up. I intend to sell those 2 cars. And I want to do my thing on my GT3. So I'm doing it today, but paint correct and do we're gonna PPF the whole thing with S-Tech, and I'm gonna put radar detector and lower it, and so do the whole process with the GT3 RS. And do some mountain driving. I'm in a much better place now, so I would like to go and redo a lot of the driving other people's cars at OG Mountain Trip. Like I wasn't able to drive because I was in panic mode pretty much the whole time, and 2 years ago when I did it. And so I want to go out and shoot some videos of those. This was fun to do with have the owner of the car, and then we just go out for a drive up the Hellbender and back. So a whole series on a bunch of different cars, different types. a lot of garage stuff, so a lot of product stuff. I want to dig into. I'm going to dig into the Krenzla. We have the Krenzla oil and all the replacement parts, so we're going to launch all of those and teach people how to buy those and how to use those. Air compressors too. I just met with Werther and FIAC. It's not FIAC, it's FIAC. I met with them yesterday or 2 days ago in Houston, and really learned a lot about the difference between a silent piston compressor and a quiet piston compressor versus screw. And so I know quite a bit about compressors, but I feel like I know even more now. And so we're going to have, just like with pressure washers, only we're going to have sort of progressive line of your entry-level silent tire filler, and then your sort of medium level ones where if you're doing maybe using an air ratchet and filling tires and blowing out pads, and then we'll have the big boy. And the magic here is that we have a rotary screw that we can run whenever we darn well feel like, without having issues of the oil or water getting the oil and damaging and ruining the head or the main component of the pump of the compressor. And so that product I'm going to be launching here shortly. I want to get through all of the car capsules, so get on track with that. We'll be launching the new website soon with a better menu, better searchability. And clearly I'm going to be showing all of the behind the scenes stuff inside the Hex. I don't intend, again, I don't think I'm going to have time to mess with another car, because I want to focus on, I want to make my M3 perfect, like not just kind of dialed in, like perfect. So I'm going to be doing Bilstein PSS 10s on that to get the height right. I need to email Clausen and just tell him to give my freaking money back. But I should. I'm going to actually probably put the stock wheels back on it with the Future Classic spacers. So, and I need to do some paint work on the M3. So I want to get the water spots figured out. I also figure out paint depth gauges and have those in the store. So we're a lot coming in the next 6 months or so. You're going to see a transformation of the Obsessed Garage store, all the while working towards design. We, of course, have the giveaway garage, Emmanuel's garage, to do at the end of the summer. Marathon training. I'll be sharing also the CrossFit, dialed in. I'll be sharing that, building that. And then one of the biggest things coming up here is the expansion of HQ here. And I'll be building a really cool unboxing area and desk for myself using MSS Plus cabinets. I'll be doing MSS Plus in the wash bay, revamping the wash bay, and then moving all of the product over there, possibly including new lifts. I'm really working. I really want Twin Bush to work, but the manufacturer's really screwing it up. Any of you guys who bought a lift, it's just unacceptable. It takes them too long. They hit us with taxes and duties and this bull crap, and they need to raise the price. I understand. I don't want to raise the price, but I'm losing money to sell lifts, which is insane. And so they need to fix that. It doesn't do me any good to try to sell it for $5,000 when they're selling it for $4,000. That doesn't work. We need to all sell it for $5,000 because that's what it costs. All the Chinese tariffs and issues are causing major issues with these things. But the thing I realized is that it's still half the cost of the others. 2, 3, even at $5,000, it's still $4,000 less than everybody else, and it's really good lift. In fact, I like it better than the rotaries and the bend packs and the others. So, yeah. So in other words, there's not a shot in the world in getting all that done, but that's in the docket. That's what's in my head right now. That's probably 25% of what's in my head. In the house of horrors that make up my brain.
And that's the short list. So every time when we get good suggestions from people and we say we're going to add that to the list, that's the list. So
yeah, it's funny. I get people email, hey, I got it for you. I've got the idea. This is what you need to do. I said, yeah, let me get right on that. Real simple. The execution is very, very different than idea forming. I execute, but we got a lot going on, and but it's great. Yeah, I'm not complaining. It's fun. I could just do none. I could do none of this, and we'd be just fine. But I want to do it all and continue to evolve, back toward a complete solution so I can go start at the beginning and revamp it over and over and over again. I'm in the middle of the construction of the complete solutions right now.
We did have one idea that we'd execute on fairly quickly. It actually is part of the podcast here. Chase, that one day, we'll honor the source here. Chase chimed in about the stool, the Rolling Adams stool, getting that in the store, and so now it's there.
Yeah,
new products.
Yeah, so we bought like 50 of them or something like that. I also got the funnel. So go to the new products page. There's like 12 or 13. There's a bunch of them on there. The skin wedge, which is the pry tool, which is you need to get like at least 2 of those things. They're freaking awesome. The new foam cannon.
Purple tape.
Yeah, the new tape, the
precision
new,
poly tape,
and
then the PCL stuff.
Yeah, all the air, what do we call it? Tire fillers,
gauges,
tire gauge and fillers are really good. I'm actually really pumped that I got them to put the new I don't think it's stainless. I think it's zinc plated, but it's a lock-on chuck, which is really awesome. Versus the weird little spring thing they had before. So it's we're moving. It's doing great. I can't wait to the springtime. I've been thinking about, should we have should we have a second sale every year and have it like April, first week in April. The question is, do we need to? Do we need to destroy our margins for that? I think we'd easily do $1 million in April if we had a similar to Black, like a weekend long sale of some sort. I thought about that. I just hate devaluing. This is just a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
All these douchebags that are copying, they're not doing they're doing nothing. They're just waiting for me to make stuff and copying. Freaking clean garage. I want to meet that guy. Just running ads against my freaking channel. Get out of here, loser. Doesn't even have the same stuff. Running ads for a Krenza, doesn't know anything about it. Idiot. Doesn't even know how to pronounce the name right. Oh, get out of here.
Let's see. Yeah, we have an update here from Mike. For Inside the Hex members, the new Hex video is live. So if you want to check that out, it is up now.
All right.
Cesar wants to know, how was the Shell trip? How was Houston? You mentioned you talked to the compressor guys about how.
Yeah, this is interesting. I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit on the podcast. So, we've talked about sponsorship in the past, and my apprehension to accept sponsorship. But it's also difficult to leave. I mean, I could make probably another $150,000 or $200,000 if of 100% profitable money if I started to take sponsorship on things. Now, one of the flaws for my channel, and one of the flaws for Obsessed Garage as a brand, is that I don't get a lot of views because I'm doing it the way that I think it should be done instead of the way that it needs to be done. Instead of pandering to YouTube and titling things weird and trying to chase an audience. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that in the longer term game, I think I have less odds of that if I slowly get people to come and understand the message and if I slowly get people to accept the format, I'm less likely to lose them because they're less likely to get bored. That I'm only going to end up with people bought in. It'd be kind of like running a Groupon. I'm going to run a Groupon and get all kinds of people to buy my crap in hopes that I keep some of them. And the likelihood of that is much smaller than we just do a good job and people slowly show up. And maybe that's a mistake, so maybe I should have 500,000 subscribers or 400,000 or some other number of people. Subscribers is probably a bad number to use because that doesn't really tell you who's bought in. But the format of chasing the videos a certain way, doing it the way that I'm doing it is very different. And puts me at a huge disadvantage in comparison to others. What the heck was I answering? What was the question again?
About your trip to Houston, Shell sponsors.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that so I've talked to my coaches about this. I've asked you guys about this. I've asked the Facebook group about this. Clearly, I'm not going to be doing live reads for Manscaped or integrations for Ball Cream or Blue Apron or some bull crap that I have no interest in. But what if one of the Ridge Wallet is a good example, someone who reached out about sponsoring. And so the tricky part is all these ads that you see, I would say at least 75% of them, they're not ads being paid for by the money of the company that's advertising. Movement Watches is a great example of they're just raising capital. I mean, I don't know the whole story, but they're not spending their own money, right? It's not like Shell. If they sponsor something, they're going to be spending their own money that they've allocated. And so you better believe they're going to be much, much stingier with that money. They're going to want more in return. They're going to want more measurement. And so the way that like a Movement Watches works is they raise capital and then they go out to all these marketing agencies, and the marketing agencies then they have to spend the money. They get paid a percentage of the money that they're spending, and then the way that they justify how they get paid is by metrics. And of course, those metrics are based on impressions or CPM and clicks, which is worthless. And especially for someone like me who is brand oriented, brand is a much longer tail. And so if the way that everybody wants you to do it is I'm going to just stop my video and I'm going to say Movement Watches, which I'd never wear that garbage. But Movement Watches is, this is a great blah, blah, blah. It's a affordable price, whatever. And so I make that 45-second read, and probably turn some people off in the beginning, but eventually they'll get used to the fact that you kind of have to do this in order to make a living. And some will think you sold out, and some won't. But it's kind of annoying, right? The problem is that the way that we've done this channel, the way that I've built this business, I'm not super likable, right? So I don't have broad appeal. I don't have the talent that Larry Kosilla or Adam LZ or some of these other guys have. I don't have that charisma. My talent is something very different. I'm the guy that those guys come to for the answers, right? And so I'm the guy that Pan calls when he has a technical question. I'm that guy, but I don't have Pan's, on camera charisma. I also don't have the desire to chase and follow what's working and what's trending and titling things to pander to that. I'm stubborn in that I want to do it, the slow burn. I want to do it and build a brand, rather than just a personal brand. I'd rather build a brand than just my Matt Moorman brand. And so it's complicated in that if Shell called or Porsche called or BMW called. So as I've been asking you guys, how do I do this? Do I accept money? Do I do Manscaped commercials? I think we all know the answer to that. But do I do a Ridge Wallet commercial? And so the Ridge is going to pay me like, even if I was really stubborn and convinced them to that I'm, I sell more stuff than even Adam would, who would get, who would get 10, 20, 30, 40x times in clicks and views, that I would probably sell just as much because of the credibility of this slow brand building exercise that I'm doing, the credibility that I've hopefully started to gain with people. And so if I say, okay, the Ridge Wallet, which I do have one, it's not in my pocket, but the Ridge Wallet is something I've been using for a while. I don't know when I found it or saw it, but the choice of that wallet, and I've bought probably several other wallets. The choice of me buying it, there's value in that, and I'm sure there are probably 2 or 3 or 4 dozen people listening to this podcast right now. And by the end of it, we'll have 5,000 people watch it and listen to this podcast. 10,000 people listen to it. There's probably hundreds that have bought the Ridge Wallet because I said that's the wallet that I have. And people know that I'm, have some credibility and I'm somewhat obsessed. And so the value so if Ridge Wallet's going to pay me, $1,500 to do a live read, when I'm selling more than they're paying Adam LZ $15,000 to do a live read, and we're selling the same amount of stuff, but they have no idea how that's going to happen. Plus, the vast majority of the people that are listening to this aren't going to go search out some goofy code on my video. They're not going to remember exactly when they heard me talking about it. They're going to buy it when it's time to buy it, and they're not looking for 8% off. They're just looking to get the wallet and get it when they want it. And I know that's not everybody that listens, but that's a large percentage of them. And so if you had a discount code, of course you'd click it in. But the amount of sales that I would be responsible for would not correlate directly to how many people click the goofy affiliate link, and not how many views I get. And so a lot of it would be immeasurable. And so even if I did a back-end deal where they paid me nothing up front and I only got a percentage of each one that I sold by talking about it, they're not going to have an accurate number because not everybody's going to use the goofy code. Plus, there are degrees of separation. I tell you about it, you influence everybody in your life. They're taking credit for it to say, you need to get a Ridge wallet, you need to get a Ridge wallet, you need to get a Ridge wallet. So I'm responsible for that too, because I influence the influencer. And so how do you quantify that? And so Shell reached out. I think there are several brands that none of this really matters, all this CPM and clicks and all this bull crap. If Porsche called, let's use a much, much more extreme example. If Porsche called and said, we want to be the title sponsor of your podcast, of your YouTube channel, we want you to, we want to be just the sponsor for the next 12 months, and we're going to pay you, $150,000 to be the sponsor. We want you to be a spokesperson and always be talking about our brand when appropriate. Here's the three things that you absolutely have to do, and we want to approve before you release that. But we want you to be a Porsche guy. And I think that obviously they wouldn't want me telling anybody they paid me $150,000 to do that. But I'm certain that I could gain $150,000 of value at times some multiple for them by me. I probably already have, because of all the Porsche work that I've done and all the promoting and talking about Porsche, because I love it so much. And I think if that happened, I don't think anybody would give two craps if Porsche paid me or not, because they knew that I didn't sell out. In fact, I know that, let's see, who do I watch? I watch Nick Bare, Bare Performance Nutrition. If Nike calls and sponsors him, I'm going to be like, yeah, man, I follow this guy. I'd feel like I was a part of that. Like, we all graduated together. So if Porsche became a title sponsor of Obsessed Garage, everybody who's been bought in since, especially those from the beginning, I don't think anybody would be, oh man, the dude sold out. Oh man, I'm out of here because of that. I don't think there's any reputational risk to doing something like that. And so Shell would be another brand that I would be really interested in that. There's a lot of value that I think I could provide. Like, I could answer the question, why in the world do I drive past BP and Chevron to go get gas at Shell? I don't know why. I read it somewhere sometime. My daddy told me, one of those things. It's like one of those things. It's like common car guy lore, but why? Why? I want to be able to answer that question. I still don't have the answer to it because I'm only getting one side of the story from Shell. But I've garnered a little bit of access, and we've opened up the discussion. The problem is I don't think they're going to want to pay me what it's worth, and so I don't want to do the work and then have any kind of reputational hit for $5,000 over the next 6 months. It's just not. I know that's a lot of money, but it's just not worth it. It's not worth a reputational risk to me to go and put my stamp on something. Even though it is Shell, to be doing, stopping the video and talking about Shell. Let me tell you about Shell. So if we were going to do it, I would want to be able to do it my way, just like I do with every product. I would want to explain why, and I'd want to harp on it. Like, I'm telling you, how many times have I mentioned Krenzla in this one video? I don't want to be hawking it. I want to be explaining it and showing you. I want to fly to Krenzla and take it apart and put it back together and show the difference between a radioaxial pump like the Krenzla and a traditional crankshaft driven pump like an AR. I want to be able to talk to that. I want to be able to eventually work my way to having an expertise in the product. And so I know I could sell a frickin' ton of gas and explain to people why. And so the purpose of me going there is hopefully, if one, it's me trying to figure out, would I even want that $100,000 from them? Of course I want it today if I didn't do anything. But what would the pro and con be of that? Would it elevate all of us, the Obsessed Garage community, the people watching it, the people viewing this podcast and videos, if I opened up and was able to talk about Shell in the way that I understand it and teach people about why it's better, then we have now we're on to something. And if I could do that for 2 or 3, major brands that elevate everybody, and not just do it to try to sell a product, but to help them with long-term brand building, and there's an equal exchange in value there. I know that when I put my stamp on something, it's worth something, especially now as big as this has gotten. We see it with product that comes here. There's value in that. The question is, what is the value? And then, of course, their issue is going to be how do they measure that. And I'm telling them, you won't have to. Forget the measurement, because the measurement, you're not going to be able to measure it. It's not going to work. And so until a company understands that, then I'm out. And so I went there to continue this discussion, but I went there to help answer the question, why? Why am I buying Shell gas? And so I spent some time with Serena, who is a chemist. She's like their like marketing chemist, and looking at some of the. They have all these little pieces and parts where they show people like cutaways and things. I don't give a crap about that. I want her to explain to me octane. I want her to explain to me how is it refined. Explain to me, the why. And I think most of us are that way. Instead of just it doesn't have some pretty picture. Just tell me in words, in science words, how this works. And so I would want access to be able to answer that. I'd want to go to the refinery and see how they do it. I'd want to be able to tell that story. And I know that if a brand would let me do that it would be immeasurable, the value of that for both of us, for me and them. And so that's why I'm there. That's why I went there. The issue is they're doing it for influencers to talk about CPMs and affiliate codes and bull crap like that I have no interest in. So that's how it's gone. So I finally just at lunch just sat down with Steve and Ann and some of the representatives from the Mallory, the people that I've met that are representatives of Shell, and I just told them this same thing I just told you. I'm sitting there. I flew to Houston. I don't want to say I wasted, but I invested an entire multiple days. And I make, my burn rate, my run rate is, at least a couple of $1,000s an hour to spend that time. If I would have spent that time focusing on the PF22.2 and all these products I just talked about, I'd make a heck of a lot more money than me getting a $1,500, kickback for doing a live read that I might lose 50 people from. So that's the really long answer. We should send this video to Shell and explain to them again what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking I don't even know what this means, but I'm thinking brand. What is the Obsessed Garage name going to be? And if I'm going to partner with somebody, what is the value of that for all of us, all the people that have supported me to this point, not just me trying to get a few bucks. I have to get paid in order to survive. And I should be, because I'm providing value to people. I don't think anybody that has half a brain would begrudge that. But I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to put in the effort necessary for an unequal exchange. So that's the answer to your question.
All right, Angel wants to know, am I able to call and place an order?
No.
I've tried a couple of times to place big orders of multiple different items and going back and forth between pages, and my cart gets emptied.
Yeah, what do you need to call for? I've already given you all the answers. We do if we have to, but if I had a darn call every time, we'd have a bunch of weird old dudes just on the phone all day asking questions, and stupid questions when I've already given the answer to. So, I mean, we can if we have to, and all you do is just email and say, look, man, I understand that I just can't figure this out. I call people all the time. But what I don't want to be is on the frickin' phone. I'd rather not sell stuff than be on the phone every second of my life, because we've already provided most of the information. But certainly there's some sophisticated things where you just email me or email Kyle and just know that if you want called, that, you know, we're in the middle of doing a bunch of crap. And I know that some people say that's bad customer service. No, when we get to you, we're going to get to you and get the answer correct. But I've just hired Jeff to support this and to continue to be able to answer questions quickly. But the most efficient way and the quickest way to get an answer to things is to, you know, just send a screenshot and a simple little email. And you know, think of it as if you're talking to yourself and saying, you know, hey, here's what I know thus far. We don't need a big dissertation. The longer you make it, the harder it is for us to get through. And you know, I'm fully aware that a lot of people want to just talk on the phone, but and if it was everybody that was in the know, I'd be all for it. But yeah, I'm going to avoid the whole phone number thing. I think as long as humanly possible, if not forever. Even though we may lose some sales because of that. Because what will happen is you end up with a phone and you're calling and nobody answers, and that hacks you off even more. So I want to be sure that we build a system where we answer 99.9% of the questions up front from the website. That's why I'm redoing the site. And then providing the videos so that you can watch it. And we're going to be creating all kinds of flow diagrams and things like that, so people will know exactly what to buy and how to buy it. But yeah, if you think, you know, hey, in that example, that's a classic example of this is I'm in over my head. This is too complicated. I need to buy a bunch of crap. I guarantee you that guy's going to call and he's going to be on the phone for 3 minutes. Just needed to clarify a few things. That's, you know, he's probably self-aware enough to realize that this isn't like a chit-chat sesh. You know, we're trying to freaking create something great here. And so, you know, to me, customer service is delivering on, that's why I don't call it customer service. We're delivering on something and not just, you know, chit-chatting, if you will.
All right. Adam wants to know, how much poly tape do you recommend to order?
Not a lot. You're going to want more precision than poly. I think poly is more of just like, I'm not going to include it in the polishing package because it's not a necessity. It's something that I think you're going to use very sparingly. So at the most, one roll of each. You know, at the risk of me not selling all the crap that we bought, at the most, one roll of each. I think that you'll find that you'll end up using that on some areas, but most of the areas you'll still use the 3M Precision, the green stuff. So just keep that in mind when you're buying it. And we need to put that in the description as well.
All right. We have a couple suggestions here in the chat. If you're going to do a spring sale, do it right after tax season, April 15th. That way people got maybe a little bit of money.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Let's see.
But if you're getting money back, why would you wait till April 15th?
Yeah.
You'd get it like February 1st. Your tax return should be done today. Yeah, I think you could submit it January 31st, can't you?
Yeah.
Or February 1st after you get your 1099s.
You can do it as soon as you want.
Yeah, so, yeah, but I hear you. But I wouldn't do that.
All right, we have a super chat here from Craig. This looks like, what is that, euros, pounds? Oh, that's pounds. 30 pounds. Oh, I just bought a load of microfiber towels from the UK distributor of the Rag Company.
Yippee.
Using the package list on the OG website. Appreciate the knowledge and credibility.
Even better. Thanks a lot. So you're welcome, Rag Company.
So he's paying back in with his $30.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's see.
I see he gets it, you know, but it'd be stupid to buy it from the US when you get it to the UK, but this is something I have to figure out in that doing the work for everybody else. So doing the work for the manufacturers and getting nothing out of it. So they use Obsessed Garage as the example. What are you doing?
I'm about to come back up here. I was just adjusting my seat.
Something going on here. I don't know what's up here.
All right. Next question. Matt, have you had a chance to try any BPN supplements, and what are your favorite shorts for CrossFit?
Yes, I have. I don't really like them. So it has sucralose in it, so it tastes kind of like that artificial sweetened. And I did the strong greens that he has. It's funny that when I start to dig into the supplement stuff, it's very similar to detailing in that you have like 3 or 4 contract manufacturers that make the stuff. And then you just go to them and you kind of have them tweak the flavor and you try to get something proprietary out of them. But no one company is going to have the best stuff because the contract manufacturers aren't going to give their absolute best to like one person. That's why P&S is so interesting, because they're making their own crap. So they could theoretically keep all their best stuff for themselves because they're selling their own product. So, and then they also manufacture some stuff from other private label brands as well. But yeah, it's okay, but not my favorite protein.
I had a couple questions. Oh, what about shorts? You got any favorite shorts for?
I like the Rogue shorts the best, but I haven't done a lot of purchasing. The 511 Tacticals are pretty nice too for working out.
Nick Neal wants to know, will we ever see the locking extension cord come installed on a Cox extension cord reel?
Yeah, I'm taking them with me to Cox. I need to talk to Miltech about this, or Milspec, not Miltech, Milspec Industries. I'd like to have a pliable version too, because the jacket is really durable, but in really cold weather, it's not as pliable. So I don't know how well it's going to work in the hose reel, but I'm going to take some Prevost hoses. I'm going to take some of the ProLock Milspec built power cords with me to put in Cox reels to see if it makes sense. But we're going to expand the Cox line here into different colors, different size reels. Maybe have some ones that maybe aren't quite as pricey, and so I'm gonna chase that a bit here as well.
All right, let's see. Our friend Jeff up in Oregon says, hopes your training is going well. In these last few videos, he's not used to seeing you in pants. Must have been cold in Atlanta.
Gosh, it's 20-something degrees. It was horrible. Yeah,
and the long sleeve shirt, I noticed, too. That was good.
Yeah.
Ryan has a question from Facebook. What exactly is orange peel regarding car paint? How do I identify, and how should I remove it?
Well, you don't want to remove it generally. So orange peel is think about the surface of an orange, how it has a textured surface, right? And so orange peel, if you looked at it under a microscope, would look like, kind of like peaks and valleys, like little hills. And then each hill has little striations in it, so noise. So almost think of it like a sine wave, with the bottom, from median up, and then have noise inside of the wave. And so one thing you can do, one of the things you're doing a lot of times when you're polishing, is you're flattening out a lot of the sine waves, or you're not flattening out the sine wave, you're flattening out the noise. And when you wet sand, let's say you're sanded like 1500 or 2500 grit, you would be, or even more, 800, you would be removing the hills, right? But in order to remove the hill, you have to go all the way down to the valley, right? And so you have to remove a lot of material in order to get there. The other byproduct that can happen, especially on modern cars, is part of the reason the orange peel is there. Part of it is because of VOC requirements and using water-based paints instead of solvent-heavy paints. And so a lot of the harmful solvents that would make paint better or harder had to be removed. And another reason that orange peel is installed, it's to help take your attention away from body panel misalignment or not having perfectly flat or smooth panels. So a lot of modern cars, if you remove the orange peel, you're going to end up with kind of weird looking panels, and any little dent or imperfection, you'd end up with an issue. So to remove orange peel, the only way to do it is to either use a rayon pad. I'm sorry, a denim pad, not a rayon pad, a denim pad, which generates a lot of heat generally. So a denim pad and some heavy compound, or to sand it. Sand it would probably be much safer. But when you're removing that much material, you're generally putting the surface at risk, especially on modern cars that have a lot of thin clear. So if I were going to sand a car flat, I would want to have it repainted and have them put extra clear coat on it.
All right, we have a couple questions here in the chat asking if there are any Rupes events scheduled.
Yeah, it's July
16 through 19 is what July, I got on the calendar here.
Yeah, so it'll be Thursday, Friday would be the actual training, so 16, 17, and then I'd stay 18, 19 and do some fun stuff in Denver. So that's the plan. I'll start promoting it probably come, early March, start talking about it. If you want in, there'll be $1,000. If you want in, you can get in on it now, and we could, have you prepay.
Is there an update on the lawn? Any news on the lawn?
I think we have it scheduled next week. Is when Jeff comes up with the treatment company, where we're gonna, use the recipe. When is it? The 13th?
13th.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So 13th, we'll have a follow up.
All right, let's see. We have a couple questions about coating here. Bob on Facebook, I've done a few ceramic coatings and need to order more. I know you like the G-Technic. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on Adams ceramic coatings? Thanks, Matt. Respect your opinion.
Adams has made a large investment on it. I've talked to Derek, the CEO, about it. I've talked to Adam about it. I've talked to Matt about it. Matt Butcher, the head of marketing there. Kyle was a former product development guy. I've talked to also B&B Blending, who makes the coatings for, I think his name's Chris, who's the lead chemist for B&B that makes some of the Adams products. They made a significant investment in this. They bought some advanced weathering machines. They've built a lab at Adams to test products. So I think that they're getting closer, but they've got a long way to go, because you figure G-Technic, Geon, even I don't know how much Ceramic Pro is invested in this. They're more of a marketing company than anything, but a lot of the coating manufacturers are way out front. Way out front of an Adams or a Meguiar's, or companies that haven't invested as much in it. And so I think, I've said this many times, I think all the coating companies with their goofy rules and all this pro-only bull crap, I think they're on notice, because Adams is freaking coming for them. I've been hypercritical about some of the Adams choices and some of the products, like the pressure washers and the polishers and things like that they've chosen to go Chinese, and not just Chinese, but Chinese copies of the real things, and private labeled them. Clearly, they're doing that in order to have the margins to be able to invest back into coating science. But they're convinced that coating is what's happening. I wouldn't be surprised to see them have some graphene stuff soon, but they are in it, and I think that my buddies at G-Technic and my friends at Geon, I think that they're all CarPro, Corey, CarPro, and Avi, who owns CarPro, worldwide. I think they're all kind of on notice that the consumer companies are coming for them, and so they've got to keep innovating to stay ahead of this. Because Adams has is quickly developing deeper pockets than anybody else has, and so that means, and if they invest back in it in the right ways, then game over. And what I've been predicting comes to fruition, where all this bull crap, if you need some special certification to slap some frickin' stuff on the paint, is ridiculous. It's not the coating that's hard, it's the polishing. Coating's the easy part. So yeah, I think that so in other words, I'm not even really all that interested in it yet, because I almost guarantee it's not as good. So I'll just sit and wait. Just like everybody, like, I'm not an early adopter on a lot of these things, and I've developed a pretty keen gut, on this stuff. I have a lot of experience in this area of choosing, and I have a lot of experience shopping for things. And so I have a strong intuition. I know that makes some people angry, but it's just true. I have a strong intuition in what I would really enjoy and what I think would be really good. Sometimes I'm wrong, but most of the time I'm right. And I don't chase things just to chase it. The process that we're using is great, and I will be much slower to adapt that process and not just swap things out just to do it.
All right, on that subject from Keith here on Facebook, Matt, I recently rewatched the video from your Rupes training where Jason and Dylan raised cautions about ceramic coatings.
Mm-hmm.
You've raised some of these same concerns in the past, but in your recent Corvette video, you seem to be sold on using CSL Exo. From here on out, what finally led you down that road?
Well, a lot of it is they've become easier to remove. Still not easy. You still have to compound it. It's still unpredictable if you've gotten it off of there or not. It's kind of hard to tell exactly if it's off. And so that's one major disadvantage, but it's, they've gotten a little easier that where it's, you don't have to wet sand it off. And the slickness of them, they don't look as weird. They're not as tacky and kind of odd, like kind of candy looking, like synthetic looking. It looks more, they tend to glow and give more depth. And so that's why I like Gtechniq so much, is the slickness of it. I love that surface tension reduction. That's my favorite part about it. They're much better now with water spotting than they've ever been. And so I think that the technology has caught up and now is good enough for me to, abandon the some of the deficiencies of wax on a car. But it still depends on the car. If I had something that I very rarely drove that was more classic in nature, depending on the color of the car, I'd still be inclined to wax it.
All right, let's see. Ray wants to know from Facebook, since it was your idea to make an all-stainless MTN gun, the SGS-28, why aren't you the exclusive seller? I find it really strange others are selling the product that only exists because of you.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't willing to commit because it's nowhere near as good as the Suttner-based, the Suttner-made Mosmatic, and so that's why. And so it was my idea, and how that came about was I called Rob and Mike. Actually, it was Mike and Rob, so they've kind of switched roles, and Mike went internal and Rob went external, whereas it was the opposite before. And so I called Rob and Mike saying, I can't get enough Mosmatic stuff. I just can't make it fast enough. And so I said, if you can make a gun that was this, and this, then I think we have something. The problem is, so one of it was have a swivel. The other is, if we're going to do it, we might as well make it all stainless, including putting stainless screws and everything on it. And it's a great product for $65, and I couldn't commit to it, and so they used that to go out and sell it to everybody. And I'm not bent out of shape about that at all. I think it's fine. But the Mosmatic is a different story. I have exclusivity on that. It's my product. The reason why we didn't make that all stainless internals is that the gun is very different than the regular Suttner gun. This is a Mosmatic design manufactured by Suttner with a Mosmatic swivel that they manufacture. And so it's not as simple as, I forget what the model is, the ST whatever, the one that everybody copies me with. It isn't nearly as good. But Suttner does make the gun for Mosmatic to Mosmatic spec. And so it's a very different gun. So in order to retool that and completely change the design of it, so we made some external tweaks to the gun, but we didn't change the body of the gun. And so in order to do that, it would have raised the price by like another $100. And we'll probably do it at some point and make that investment. I'll make the investment, maybe even myself, so that it doesn't raise it $100 and do a full stainless head. There's no benefit to being fully stainless other than it looks pretty, especially on the internal component of the gun, where you're not going to be dropping and banging it on the ground, and the little tip that sticks out at the end is brass, and so it's not very corrosion prone. But in order to redo that and revamp that gun completely would have cost people. It would have cost a lot more per gun. It's already very expensive, and very cost prohibitive for most people. So I made that decision, to do it that way.
All right. Let's see. Ethan wants to know, how do you deal with inventory when doing details like Adam's GTR? When you take items off the shelf, are you having Adam pay for those, or do you let those things go as you get the benefit of videos/exposure on his channel?
Yeah, I just eat it, and so I'm just I'll yell out to Chris or my dad, hey, I'm taking 5, I'm taking 2 packs of the suede applicators off the shelf, or grabbing some coating or whatever, so they'll take it out of inventory. We're just talking about building a system for cycle counts. That hiss.
I'm getting it in my ear too. I don't know what that is.
Did we lose it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So hopefully that's not on the feed, but there's a hiss going on here. So what was I talking about?
Cycle counts.
Yeah, so we'll be doing cycle counts and stuff here. Our inventory is probably pretty off. So we're going to implement and start to build hopefully barcode scanning, and some sort of cycle counting as well coming up here.
All right. Epiphany Detailing wants to know, any word on Angel Wax Clarity or your thoughts on how it's working in the M5?
I think it's good. I think it's probably because it doesn't leave anything. There's no like extra junk that I feel like is left behind. I don't feel like it adds very much to the windshield, which I think I like. So I'll probably end up including that in the package of the process. I think we have more Angel Wax coming, don't we?
It showed up yesterday finally.
Oh, it did?
So it's back
sweet.
in.
Yeah, we keep running out of it.
Eden, Bliss, and Vision are all in stock.
Good.
Let's see. Not a question. This is from Cameron. But I noticed this morning YouTube channel approaching 200K subscribers. A huge thank you to the entire OG team for providing us with everything they do. Keep it up. So, thank you, Cameron. That's cool. Let's see. Gio wants to know, looking back at what has been uploaded so far, I would prefer to binge watch/listen to the entirety of Inside the Hex content. Considering that this method of consumption may be popular with others here, has there been any progress made in plans to offer a monthly subscription?
I forget if there was an issue with the platform, but I want that.
Yeah, and I was thinking as I read that, actually, if and when we do giveaways, a lot of times we have people who are already signed up for Inside the Hex, and we have to go back and redo stuff. But if that were an entry, okay, you buy 1 month subscription, and then you also get an entry or 5 entries or whatever, that might make that process easier as well.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the next garage giveaway, which I'd like to do in the spring. Coming up with some more creative things for people to purchase. Not sure.
Podcast worn T-shirts. You could sign them and send them out.
Not just apparel. We've kind of appareled people out at this point.
Your shoes.
Some of them other stuff. Yeah.
Ridge Wallet.
We could have auctions on like autographed, underwear and stuff.
I'm not giving any of my underwear.
License plates. Like the Obsessed Garage or the 9K Flat 6, the original.
Oh yeah.
Auction off my 100,000 subscriber plaque or something like that. Apparently, you can buy new ones now. Since in June, since my certified financial planner will be out of commission, we could auction that off.
Yeah. Much for the Villanova diploma over there.
Yeah, that one I think I'll keep.
Your IDA certificate?
Yeah, my patches.
Second time this has come up, so I better ask this. Any open house ideas for this year? Last year was around this time. It's true. It's February 16th last year.
Yeah, again, I'd like to get in the other side, so we'll do it right around the time of when that's done, so we'll have a better feel for that once we get the CrossFit gym out of here. So it would probably be April-ish, something like that.
All right, we'll go to this is a more personal style question here from Ryan on Facebook. How do you feel about it being common on the Facebook group and other places for that matter for people to use OCD to describe things they do, which are clean and organized, or it soothes my OCD? When you have been clinically diagnosed, I feel like nails on a chalkboard when I hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, so I'm not offended by it, but I just think people sound stupid when you do it. It's one of those terms that you don't realize you sound stupid, so you probably just don't, it doesn't occur to you. But when you say, I am so OCD, I am so obsessive compulsive disorder, doesn't even make any sense. So having obsessive compulsive disorder is not, it doesn't mean you're organized. Being organized doesn't mean that. or liking things clean doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, if you have to clean your hands 37 times before you walk out the door, that's obsessive compulsive disorder. Or if you're incessantly worried about the next 5 minutes of your life, like I am, I'm compulsive and just panicked at times. Then that's when you would say I have OCD, not I am so, because I wash my car once a month. It's freaking stupid. Or my Campbell's soup labels are all facing the same way. That to me just seems like common freaking sense. So you should say, I'm so common sense. I'm so CS. It is stupid. It is cringe-worthy. I wish people would stop saying that. Oh, yeah, I'm so OCD. Yeah, I'm OCD too. No, you're not. Thank goodness you're not. But yeah, I've given up even caring about it because it's like, it's like a common way to whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's become part of lexicon more so than anything.
Yes, it's just common vernacular, which is stupid.
All right, one question here from Instagram. Are tire shops able to add wheel weights to a coated wheel, or do they need to polish that area before applying the wheel weight?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I'd wipe it with some alcohol, but there's a high probability they'll fall off. I've had it done before where I coated them and then put them on there. Just wipe it with alcohol and put it on. But you do have a higher probability that it doesn't stick.
All right. Well, I think that's most of the questions here. Well, Adam, are we still going to sell Wolf's trim coating? No.
No, I would use CSL. CSL is way better. G-Tech and Crystal Serum Light is way better on that.
Yeah, and Jeff wants us to know he's having pizza for lunch. That's good.
Grown-ups don't eat pizza for lunch. That's another Maddieism.
There's some of you may appreciate this. You missed it the other day. So Jeff, our new guy Jeff, is 20 years old.
Yeah,
which makes me feel old. And so everybody pulls their lunch out, and we're all eating lunch, and I've got my basically ground turkey, sweet potato, and a little bit of pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Which I eat every day. And Jeff pulls out, he's got like a package of Oreos, a Coke, a Capri Sun, 3 packs of Mott's apple gummy thing. Man, that's the difference between a 20-year-old lunch and a 40-year-old lunch.
When I was 20, I would have been eating hard-boiled eggs, and I was trying to get all jacked, So I would be eating hard-boiled eggs, and I'd probably give in and go eat like 3 slices of pizza, But yeah. Those are the days. Meal plan. I miss meal
Coke
plan.
And Capri Sun. I love it.
I'd be drinking, whole milk, eating hard-boiled eggs, and choking down some kind of salad. Battling being a fat kid even back then.
All right, let's see. When will the next VinWiki video drop? I guess for us, it dropped this morning, right?
Yeah, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So 10 a.m. We've switched to 10 a.m. to try and see how that works.
So that's a thing going forward now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm cutting the VinWiki videos a little tighter than we normally do and try to get to the point a little bit faster. It was so difficult. I didn't have my normal pizzazz, if you will, my normal shtick, because I'm just managing this whole project and chasing batteries around. So I won't do another one unless I have somebody there to manage the cameras. And so I'm having Mike and Bryce, cut it tighter to get to the result, a little quicker, because I don't have my normal like life lessons in between and banter that I normally would have, because I'm so trying to get the darn thing done, and then people were yelling. I knew that people would start yelling at this, that Mike is doing all the work and you're just watching, which is not all that untrue, but somebody's got to manage the gosh darn camera when we're doing all this stuff. And then why would I push him out of the way to do something half as good? It's like we're both there to do it. Why would I, I'm doing a lot of the menial stuff that anybody could do. And I could do some of the stuff that he's doing, most of it, but it would literally take me twice as long on some of the things and do it half as good. So I'm capturing video. And so a lot of things you don't see me doing it because I'm managing the gosh darn camera. So screw you freaking crybabies. Get out of here. If you had half a brain, you would know what's going on. You'd be able to deduce this. We built a freaking garage in 5 days, 6 days, and then made it insane. It came out insanely well. Yeah, the rest of the videos will be rolling out, cut a little tighter, and then I also did like a parallel vlog at the same time. So I'm managing the main videos and then the other video, as well as making sure everything goes where it's supposed to go and look like it's supposed to look, and ordering product and getting everything there and trying to make sure it's all done, and making freaking trips to Home Depot and buying all that crap, and my butt's puckering for every check that I write to get this thing done, and while I'm doing that, I vlogged sort of a lot of the, like we'll call it, behind the scenes after it's all done.
All right, so those videos are coming out as we go. 10 a.m. the next week or so, probably, at least.
Yeah, I think we're probably halfway through. So we've 4 episodes up, so there's probably another 4 or 5. I do a walk around. Of course, you can go to the VinWiki channel and watch the end result. So yeah, and then I have some stories coming on the VinWiki channel, which will be, telling the stories of Garage and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for those. But yeah, that's the story. On our way to 200K, and then hopefully 500,000. And I'm hoping that someday I'll have something that pops. But I'm not going to try. That's part of the reason why it's never happened, because I never tried to make a video that went viral. I think the video that has the most views is like the most random. It's like episode 9 it's like the worst video we made of wet sanding on the channel. It's like 500,000 views. That's about it.
Yeah, 520. Machine sanding application, Rufez product training.
I kind of enjoy that I don't have any viral videos. I only have like select people that are watching. I mean, I only have maybe 100 videos that have more than 100,000 views. But I'm okay with that. I think that, but I do think that at some point I'm going to do something, and it's inevitable. You make 1,000 more videos, something's going to register and hit some sort of virality at some point. But I don't know.
More people watched you and Ryan unbox your subwoofer than you and Jay Leno cruising around. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's a stupid little 3-minute video where there was nothing. It was just I had it and I made it. I think it's like 3 minutes long. It's probably the shortest video I have. And yeah, but the title, look at the title. That's what I call a subwoofer. You got to do something douchey title in order to make it work.
All right. And then in case you missed it earlier, Mike let us know that the next video on the Inside the Hex video series is up. So if you want to go watch that this weekend, now's a good time to do that.
Yeah, cool. Back to the GT3. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.